What would you do if you had to choose between your own hunger and a stranger's children crying for food? This is the story of Jack Turner, a single father, a veteran, and a man who gave up his last meal for 5 kids he didn't even know. He had no idea that one act of kindness would ripple into something so life-changing that by the very next morning, a billionaire would be standing at his door. Jack had once been a proud, marine-disciplined, courageous, strong, but life after the war was not kind. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier, leaving him to raise his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, alone. With only a small pension, barely enough for rent, Jack worked odd repair jobs. Most nights, he quietly skipped meals so Lily could eat. That evening, their fridge was nearly empty. A half loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter, scraped almost clean, and 1 tin of soup. Jack decided Lily would get the bread and he would warm the soup for himself. But when he stepped outside to fetch water, he heard something. 5 children huddled in an alley, clothes torn, faces pale, stomachs growling louder than the wind in the cold night. Their mother was nowhere to be seen. Jack's chest tightened. He knew hunger too well, and he knew the look in their eyes, the same look Lily sometimes had when she pretended she wasn't hungry so her dad could eat. Without thinking, Jack went back inside, lifted the pot of soup, and carried it out to the children. "Here," he whispered, kneeling so his scarred face wouldn't frighten them. "It's not much, but it's warm." The children's eyes lit up. They devoured the soup in silence. Jack's stomach twisted with hunger, but he forced a smile, pretending he wasn't starving. When he returned, Lily looked up at him. "Daddy, aren't you eating?" Jack kissed her forehead. "I already ate earlier, sweetheart," but when she touched his empty bowl, her eyes filled with tears. She knew it. She climbed onto his lap, wrapped her arms around his neck, and whispered, "You're the best daddy in the world." That night, Jack went to bed with an empty stomach and a full heart. He had no idea that someone had been watching. The next morning, a firm knock at the door woke him. Jack rubbed his eyes, expecting the landlord. But when he opened the door, he froze. A tall, graceful woman stood there in a sharp coat that looked worth more than his entire apartment. Behind her, a black car gleamed in the sunlight. "Mr. Turner?" she asked. "Yes," Jack replied cautiously. "My name is Eleanor Hayes," she said, extending her hand. "I believe you helped some children last night. They're under the care of my foundation." Jack blinked in confusion. "Foundation?" Eleanor nodded. "I run shelters for displaced families. My staff told me about a man who gave away his own food for children who weren't even his. I wanted to meet him." Embarrassed, Jack shook his head. It was nothing, just some hungry kids. "Anyone would have done the same." "Not anyone," Eleanor said firmly. "Most would have walked away." Her eyes scanned the small apartment, bare walls, cracked table, empty fridge. Her expression softened. You served this country, you're raising a daughter alone, and still you give away the little you have. People like you deserve more than struggle. Jack shifted uneasily. I don't need pity. Eleanor's eyes glimmered. Good, I'm not offering pity. I'm offering opportunity. She stepped inside and placed a sleek envelope on the table, inside an employment contract in her company's security division, with a salary enough to secure Lily's future. Beside it, a check, with more zeros than Jack had ever seen. Jack's throat tightened. Why me? Eleanor looked him straight in the eyes. Because the world doesn't change through money or power, it changes through heart. And yesterday, you showed me more heart than most billionaires I know. Tears welled in Jack's eyes. Lily peeked from behind him, holding her worn teddy bear. Eleanor knelt, smiling warmly. You must be Lily. How would you like to never worry about your daddy skipping meals again for the first time in years? Jack felt the crushing weight of hopelessness lift from his shoulders, all because one small act of kindness had found its way back to him. Jack's story reminds us, true wealth isn't measured by what we keep, but by what we give, even when we have little. Sometimes, the smallest sacrifice creates ripples that become miracles.